The human experience is a curious thing. It is a journey filled with questions, uncertainties, and the search for meaning. We're born into a world we didn't create, into families we didn't choose, and into circumstances beyond our control. And yet, we are told we are responsible for our own lives. This responsibility can feel overwhelming, like standing alone on a vast beach or at the base of a towering mountain. This strange paradox lies at the heart of existentialism, a philosophy that delves deep into the human condition. Existentialism encourages us to confront the weight of our freedom and the immense responsibility of creating meaning in a seemingly meaningless world. It asks us to look at the vast expanse of our lives and see the potential for creation. Jean-Paul Sartre, a leading figure in the existentialist movement, argued that existence precedes essence. This means that we are not born with a predetermined purpose or a fixed identity. In simpler terms, we exist first, and then we define ourselves through our choices and actions. Every decision we make, every path we choose, contributes to the person we become. We are not born with a predetermined purpose or a fixed identity. Instead, we are constantly evolving, constantly becoming who we are meant to be. Instead, we are constantly becoming who we are. This journey of self-discovery is ongoing, filled with challenges and triumphs. Imagine an artist standing before a blank canvas. They possess the freedom to paint anything they desire, but with this freedom comes the burden of choice. Every brushstroke is a decision, shaping the artwork, and in a way, shaping the artist themselves. Each choice adds depth, color, and meaning to the canvas. Every brushstroke is a decision, shaping the artwork, and in a way, shaping the artist themselves. The canvas of life is no different. Existentialism, at its core, is about acknowledging this blank canvas of our lives and embracing the exciting, albeit daunting, responsibility of creating our own meaning. It is about taking control of our narrative. It's about recognizing that we are not defined by our past, our circumstances, or societal expectations. We have the power to break free from these constraints, but by the choices we make every single day. Each sunrise brings a new opportunity to shape our lives, to plant seeds of meaning, and to create a legacy that is uniquely ours. At the heart of Sartre's philosophy is the idea of radical freedom. We are, according to Satre, condemned to be free. This freedom isn't some abstract political ideal, it's the very essence of our consciousness. To be conscious, Satre argues, is to be constantly aware of possibilities. We can imagine different futures, different versions of ourselves. This capacity for imagination is what sets us apart, and ironically, what weighs us down. We are burdened by the knowledge that we could always choose differently. Think of a time you were faced with a difficult decision. Perhaps it was choosing a career path, ending a relationship, or making a life-altering move. The weight of these choices, the knowledge that our decisions have real consequences, can be paralyzing. Yet, Sartre would argue, this is the essence of being human. To deny our freedom, to pretend we are not responsible for our choices, is to live in bad faith, a concept we will explore further in the next section. If we are truly free, then the question becomes, how do we live with this freedom? Freedom, in its purest form, is both exhilarating and daunting. It offers us endless possibilities, but also places the weight of responsibility squarely on our shoulders. How do we make choices that are authentic to who we are, or who we want to become? This is not a trivial question. It requires deep introspection and a willingness to confront our deepest fears and desires. Sartre believed that authenticity is the key to a meaningful life. He argued that to live authentically, we must acknowledge our freedom and take full responsibility for our actions. This means making choices that reflect our true selves, rather than simply conforming to societal norms or expectations. To live authentically is to live in accordance with our own values and desires, free from the pressures of social conformity or external expectations. It's about listening to our inner voice and having the courage to follow it, even when it leads us down a path less traveled. It's about embracing our individuality, even in the face of societal pressures to conform. This can be incredibly challenging, as the desire to fit in and be accepted is deeply ingrained in us. But true freedom lies in the ability to stand apart and be true to ourselves. Imagine a young woman who dreams of becoming a musician, but her family expects her to follow a more traditional career path. She faces a difficult choice: to pursue her passion or to meet her family's expectations. To live authentically, she must confront these expectations and make the choice that aligns with her own aspirations, even if it means disappointing others. This is the essence of authenticity, making choices that are true to who we are, even when they are difficult. On the other hand, bad faith is the opposite of authenticity. It's the act of deceiving ourselves to avoid the discomfort of freedom and responsibility. It's easier to hide behind societal roles and expectations than to confront the uncertainty of our true desires. It's the denial of our freedom, the attempt to shirk responsibility for our choices by hiding behind social roles, predetermined identities, or the expectations of others. This self-deception can lead to a life that feels unfulfilled and inauthentic. Consider a man who remains in a job he hates, simply because it provides him with a sense of security and societal approval. He might convince himself that this is the right thing to do, but deep down, he knows he is not being true to himself. He might justify his decision by saying it's what he should do, but deep down, he is denying his own desires and living in bad faith. To break free from this, he must confront his fears and take the courageous step towards a life that truly reflects his values and passions. Section 4. Facing the abyss. Anxiety and existential dread. The freedom to define ourselves, while exhilarating, can also be terrifying. When we realize that there is no predetermined path, no cosmic script guiding our lives, we are confronted with a profound sense of nothingness, an abyss of possibilities that can evoke anxiety and dread. This existential dread, Satre argues, is not something to be feared or avoided. It's a natural response to the realization of our own finitude and the weight of our freedom. It's a reminder that we are responsible for creating meaning in a world that often seems devoid of inherent purpose. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean, the waves crashing against the shore, and feeling a sense of awe and terror at the immensity of it all. This is the feeling of existential dread, a confrontation with the vastness of our own freedom and the responsibility it entails. However, this dread is not a dead end. It's a starting point. By confronting our anxiety, by acknowledging the absurd freedom we possess, we can begin to create a life that is truly our own. Section 5. Challenging Sartre, Critiques and Counterpoints. Sartre's ideas, while influential, have not gone unchallenged. His philosophy of existentialism, which places a strong emphasis on individual freedom and responsibility, has sparked numerous debates and discussions over the years. Critics argue that his emphasis on individual freedom neglects the role of social structures, economic conditions, and cultural norms in shaping our choices and opportunities. They believe that Sartre's focus on personal autonomy overlooks the significant impact that external factors have on our lives. They point out that not everyone has the same degree of freedom. Social inequalities, such as those based on race, gender, and class, can create barriers that limit the choices available to individuals. Factors like poverty, discrimination, and systemic injustice can severely limit our choices and make it difficult to live authentically. These systemic issues can trap individuals in circumstances that are hard to escape, regardless of their personal resolve or efforts. For example, a person born into poverty may face significant obstacles in pursuing their dreams, regardless of their talent or determination. The lack of resources, education, and opportunities can create a cycle of hardship that is difficult to break. Their choices are constrained by factors outside of their control, making it difficult to fully embrace Sartre's notion of radical freedom. The idea that we are entirely free to shape our destinies can seem unrealistic in the face of such overwhelming obstacles. Others criticize Sartre's emphasis on individual responsibility, arguing that it can lead to a sense of isolation and despair. If we are solely responsible for our own lives, it can be a heavy burden to bear, especially during times of failure or crisis. If we are solely responsible for creating meaning in our lives, then who do we turn to when we struggle, when we fail, or when we feel lost? The existentialist focus on individualism can sometimes overlook the importance of community and support systems in helping us navigate life's challenges. These critiques highlight the limitations of existentialism as a comprehensive philosophy. While it offers valuable insights into the human condition, it may not fully account for the complexities of social and economic realities. It's essential to consider the social and cultural contexts that shape our experiences. Understanding these contexts can provide a more holistic view of human freedom and responsibility, acknowledging both individual agency and the constraints imposed by society.